I'm Caitlin Matson. This is the Green Room on the Classical Cafe. Next week, it's the Wichita Jazz Festival, and I have Dee Starkey joining me in the Green Room to talk all about it. Good afternoon, Dee.
Good afternoon to you, Caitlin.
I'm so thrilled that you're here to talk about the Jazz Festival, a long-standing jazz festival in Wichita, bringing in world-class jazz artists for years now. And it has grown. I was looking at the schedule of events. There's Jazz in the Round. It starts off, it seems like on April the 22nd, next Tuesday at Northwest High School. Can you give us a brief rundown of the day's events leading up to the finale concert?
Brief.
Not
There's
so brief.
quite a bit of stuff going on, but we looked at some bigger things this year and have reached out and have collaborative ideas out there for things in the future with other organizations in town. But we're fortunate to be able to be around again in our 53rd year. Uh, we start on Tuesday with Jazz in the Round at Northwest High School, featuring jazz ensembles from 8 Wichita high schools, outstanding music educators in the public schools, and outstanding musicians in all of these. Many of them will get scholarships, hopefully full rides, music scholarships somewhere. But it's a great thing. The price is right, $0 as opposed to some of our other events, but it's free at Northwest High at 7 p.m. And just hear the future of jazz in Wichita, but also the future of jazz in the world that comes out of Wichita. So we're very
Yeah,
excited about that concert.
that's great. And then
Wednesday,
I saw the next day at the Art Museum with our very own Delano Jazz Orchestra.
our very own Delano Jazz Orchestra, outstanding jazz educators in the area, music teachers. Last year, they all had state music contests the day earlier, so I asked them, did you all get ones? And I'm sure they did at music contest. But it's a wonderful ensemble led by Bill Johnson, and we're fortunate to have a wonderful vocalist with a lot of Kansas ties. Uh, Donna Tucker will be featured with that group at the Art Museum. The Art Museum's been a wonderful partner on these things for the last several years, and it's a great place to hear a concert.
It sure is
So,
such a beautiful venue. Do they play underneath the Chihuly?
oh yeah, well they don't play underneath. The audience get to sit under the chihuly, but yeah, it's configured very nicely, and it's just a wonderful spot to have a concert. And there is limited seating there, so we would say, hurry, get your tickets now.
Yeah. And the next day, again at the Wichita Art Museum, an opportunity on the 24th to hear a legendary jazz percussionist.
Yeah, Peter Erskine is absolutely one of the greatest living jazz drummers now, and his credits go on and on and on. We are very fortunate to get him back here. His first appearance at the Jazz Festival was our second festival in 1973 when he was the drummer with the Stan Kenton Orchestra.
Oh
Later
gosh,
on,
yeah.
he was with, and Stan Kenton was born in Wichita. So all these Kansas tie-ins to the festival this year. But we're very fortunate. His pianist is absolutely wonderful, Alan Pasqua, who is a Steinway artist, and has credits all over in all kinds of idioms. But jazz is his forte, and we're very excited. And wonderful bassist Scott Colley will be joining them. It'll be a very elegant evening with the Peter Erskine Trio at the Wichita Art Museum. Peter also has sent us a 20-minute video that was shown at the Hollywood Bowl about his career. And other than saying Hollywood Bowl, it will fly greatly at the Wichita Art Museum. It runs about 20 minutes. He narrates it, and all these days with Weather Report and other legendary artists, and you see Herbie Hancock and Joni Mitchell and Wayne Shorter and all these legends in this. And the narration is wonderful. So we're going to screen that before. We have some other surprises that night too.
Oh, that's just fantastic. And then, of course, we had the high schoolers involved. So now we have the Wichita State University Jazz Ensembles and the Wichita State University Jazz Invitational on Friday the 25th.
Yeah,
What's involved in that?
it's the heart and soul of the festival and how we started out originally, inviting college and high school bands to perform all day. We bring in top clinicians from the world of jazz. This year we have the premier Hammond organ player, Pat Bianchi from New York, and wonderful guitarist, Dan Wilson, who have credits all over the place. I should mention, if people say, I haven't heard of those people, you can go to the festival website and we have links to all of their bios and videos and recordings and stuff. So you can find out, oh, they're pretty good. I think I'll go to that event. But yeah, Friday, and it runs all day. And then Dan and Pat will be featured with not only the Mid-Kansas Jazz Ensemble that evening, but also WSU's Jazz Arts One, which is just one of the outstanding college big bands in the country.
And then, of course, the grand finale concert on Saturday, the 26th at the Orpheum. Of
We,
course, what a beautiful venue for jazz. I feel like they go hand in hand.
They do, and the Orpheum's connection to jazz is legendary, going back to the 30s with Duke Ellington, Ella Fitzgerald, Louis Armstrong. Many of the greats have played at the Orpheum over the years, and we have a great connection there. They're wonderful to work with, and when they close for a year to finish finally the restoration of the theater, when they reopen, we're talking about some big things in the future in 2027. So we're very excited about that. But the concert features not only Matt Wilson's Good Trouble Quintet, and Matt has very long connections with Wichita, WSU graduate, but he is an internationally known jazz artist, and his group is wonderful, very entertaining. They show joy on the bandstand like no other group, and really high quality musicianship. And also on that concert, a double bill will be April May Webb from North Newton, Kansas, who just won the Sarah Vaughan International Vocal Competition, which means we better book her now because we won't be able to afford her in the future. It is a stepping stone to stardom. The group
Amazing.
features her brothers, who are great jazz artists in the New York City area. Nathan Webb on drums, Jacob Webb on bass. Her husband, Randall Haywood, is a wonderful trumpet player. Wynton Marsalis asked him to sub on the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra when Randall was 15, and a wonderful pianist from Tokyo, Yayoi Ikawa. And it's just really high level artistry, very entertaining, and covers a number of genres. It isn't just strictly jazz. It'll be very entertaining and very interesting. And April and her husband Randall are, shall we say, fashionistas. There'll be quite a fashion show going on too. So
And we love
just,
that.
oh, we love that. And we're very excited that, again, this tie in to our local area, that
Yeah.
three kids from North Newton and
That's
graduate
fantastic.
Newton
You know,
High School.
we're gonna take a real short break, but we're gonna
Okay.
come back and talk even more about next week's Wichita Jazz Festival. Did you say it was the 53rd? 53rd annual Wichita Jazz Festival kicks off on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, a week from today, April 22nd. We'll be back and talk more with Dee Starkey. I'm Caitlin Matson, and this is the Green Room on Radio Kansas. Dee Starkey is here. He's telling us all about the Wichita Jazz Festival. The 53rd annual Wichita Jazz Festival begins Tuesday, April 22nd. That is a week from today. It's just days upon days of activities that include community members, professionals who are coming in from out of the town, some of jazz greats, legends, high schoolers. It's incredible. It is a community event. It takes place at different venues all around the city and accumulates with a finale concert at the Orpheum Theater. Uh, Dee Starkey, now you've been on the board and involved with the Jazz Festival forever.
Uh, yes, it's kind of part of my DNA. My parents were amongst the founders in 1972. We have one living founder, Ted Blankenship, who still writes for Active Age uh, newspaper. And so, yeah, the tie-ins that go back to there, and the origins of jazz education that started in the 50s with Berklee School of Music and the University of North Texas. And all of these things tie in to what we're able to do. People might ask, why are they talking about jazz on KHCC? It's the classical music station. We might remind them that in 1924, when Maurice Ravel showed up in New York, the first thing he wanted to do was, I want to go hear Duke Ellington Orchestra. So
Yeah.
the tie-ins are pretty
Well,
obvious
they
throughout the
are
year.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And you know, we have jazz on Saturday nights.
exactly. Yes. Yeah. The jazz programming that's there, we're grateful for it at KHCC, and it makes life better to
Yes, it
know
does.
about this art form. And the more we know, we also might mention another very important Kansan in jazz is the great Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker's first recording was done at the KFBI, Kansas Farmers and Bankers building in Wichita. We're working on getting a plaque on that building because it's a very historical event. I was
Ah,
in New York last fall and found a building that was designated as Billie Holiday's first recording location. I was at a club that night talking to some retired teachers from New York City, and they said, we've lived in New York City all our lives and didn't know that was there. And some guy from Wichita has to tell us about it. So in visiting people in New York, there's great credibility for the Wichita Jazz Festival. People say, I played there. I remember seeing so-and-so there. So we have a great reputation. We feel we're probably the third oldest festival after Newport and Monterey. So we keep plugging away. As Stephen Sondheim says, art isn't easy, but it sure is worth it.
Art isn't easy. What is easy is for somebody to open up a browser and go to your website, get some tickets, look at the calendar of events, and plan out what they're going to come see next week. What is the website?
WichitaJazzFestival.com.
Ah,
And the link,
WichitaJazzFestival.com.
yes, all lowercase. And the links on it are wonderful to go all the artist bios and stuff, and you can find out about them. And as we know with the internet, you can end up spending a lot of time there, listening to the artists and reading their bios and stuff, and say, "Oh my gosh, they're big time," and
Yes, I
indeed they
think
are.
that this is something specifically that I wish we could communicate in a better way to the community just how big of a deal this festival is, the roots it has, the respect it has in the jazz community, and the talent that's going to be performing on every night of the festival. It's a big deal. And to have it in our backyard is such a gift.
Yeah.
And like you said, you can attend anything from, the free concert at the high school, Jazz in the Round. You
Mhm.
can, buy a ticket for the finale concert and everything in between. It seems like it's going to be just a fantastic week next week. Well, here is my question. If every single jazz musician in the Wichita area is going to be at the festival, who's going to be playing late at night at Walker's?
They have a nice schedule booked during the week. There's a lot of interaction with WSU students and providing them a venue for recitals and things rather
Ah,
than playing in Wiedemann Hall with the great pipe organ or Miller Concert Hall to 100 seats.
that makes
Uh,
sense.
yeah, that they developed a great tie-in when Walker and his dad Gary opened the club about a year and a half ago. And it's wonderful that we have a venue like that, which is really big city quality. People go there to listen.
Yes, there's a respect in the walls of Walker's Jazz Lounge, isn't there?
Hmm. Exactly. Yes, and it's wonderful to see young people in their 30s and 40s, professionals who say, "Oh, this is part of a big city scene. We get it. We're here to listen and
Yeah.
enjoy the music."
Dee Starkey, thank you so much for joining us. And I know that at this time 2 weeks from now, you're going to be utterly exhausted. I know the board works round the clock, in the days leading up to the festival. So thank you for taking the time to speak with me. And, Dee Starkey was singing in the Wichita Symphony Chorus not, 2, 3 nights ago, Beethoven's Ninth.
Yes, our musical community is vast and interactive, and we all take care of each other. The arts are going to get us through these crazy times. I might point out that years ago, my mother said, after working on the Jazz Festival for so long, my way of recovering is to listen to all six Bach Brandenburg concertos the next day when we're all done. So
That
it all ties together.
it all ties together. Dee, thank you so much and have a great week next week.
Absolutely. Thank you, Caitlin. It was wonderful.